Hello everyone, I hope you are fit and fine. Today, in this video session, we are going to deal with a very interesting story, The Necklace. The Necklace is a short story which was written by G.T. Maupassant. In this story, you will get a great message, and this message is applicable to each and every one of us. So, without wasting the time, let's start the story, The Necklace. Mathilde. The pronunciation of Mathilde, that is Mathilde. So Mathilde was a pretty and charming girl, born as if by an error of fate into a family of clerks. She had no means of becoming known, understood, loved, or be wedded to an aristocrat, and so she let herself be married to a minor official at the Ministry of Education. मेटिल्ड जो कि एक सुंदर चार्मिंग गर्ल है और उसका जन्म होता है एक क्लर्क की फैमिली में एंड ऑफ कोर्स दो शी वो चार्मिंग प्रेटी बट स्टिल शी डिडंट understand by any one of the family member. She didn't love by any one of the family member, and she was wedded to an minor official at the Ministry of Education. Here इज वेरी क्लियर मेथिल जो कि एक चार्मिंग गर्ल है उसका जन्म एक पुअर फैमिली में क्लर्क की फैमिली में होता है एंड उसे ऐसा लगता है कि उसकी शादी एक एरिस्टोक्रेट से हो बट ये हो नहीं पाता और एट लास्ट उसकी शादी एक माइनर ऑफिशियल के साथ हो जाती है जो कि एक मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन में या इस डिपार्टमेंट में काम कर रहा है एंड ऑफ कोर्स ड्यू टू दिस her dreams were shattered. So here aristocrat means nobleman or noble woman. So she dressed plainly because she had never been able to afford anything better. She suffered endlessly, feeling she was entitled to all the luxuries of life. She suffered because of her shabby, poorly furnished house. All these things that another woman of her class would not even have noticed tormented her and made her resentful. So, of course, due to her financial condition or the financial condition of her husband, she is not able to afford dresses which are looking rich. And of course, due to that, she suffered endlessly. She was entitled. Entitled means here deserving. उसे ऐसा लगता है कि लाइफ की सारी खुशियाँ सारी लग्जरीज उसे मिले बट ड्यू टू हर फाइनेंशियल कंडीशन ये हो नहीं पाता एंड her house is also not good. It means the condition of house was shabby and poor, and due to that she suffered a lot. उसे ऐसा लगता है कि उसका एक बड़ा सा मैंशन हो बड़ी सी हवेली हो लेकिन उसका जो हाउस है वो बहुत सिंपल सा है. All these things that another woman of her class would not even have noticed tormented her, tormented, tortured, and made her resentful. And she was not happy with the condition. And she dreamed of a grand palatial mansion with vast rooms and inviting smaller rooms perfumed for a afternoon chats with close friends. एक मीन्स उसका जो सपना है उसे ऐसा लगता है कि उसका एक बड़ा सा हाउस हो बड़ा सा मैंशन हो और उसमें छोटे छोटे रूम हो जिसमें अच्छी खुशबू आती हो और जहाँ पे वो अपने दोस्तों के साथ बातचीत कर सके लेकिन ऐसा हो नहीं पाता. एक शी हैड नो रिच ड्रेसेस नो ज्वेल्स नथिंग एंड दीज वेर द ओनली थिंग्स शी लव्ड. इट मीन्स her ambition, her wishes were that she should have good dresses, jewelry, and all the luxuries in the life. But she wanted so much to charm, to be envied, to be sought after. Envied means felt jealous. ऐसा उसको लगता है कि उसका एक बड़ा सा हाउस हो उसके पास बहुत सारी ज्वेलरी हो एंड जिसको देखने के बाद उसके जो फ्रेंड्स हैं तो उनको उसे देख के जेलसी फील हो एंड दिस इज हर ड्रीम. एंड लेट्स सी व्हाट हैपन नेक्स्ट. So she had a rich friend, a former schoolmate at the convent, whom she avoided visiting because afterwards she would weep with regret, despair, and misery. So here she had a rich friend. उसकी एक सहेली है जो कि कॉन्वेंट स्कूल से बिलोंग करती है, जहाँ पे वो पढ़ती है, सॉरी जहाँ पे वो पढ़ती थी, और of course, she was avoided her due to her financial condition because after that she would weep with regret. क्योंकि बाद में she became hopeless. Despair means hopeless, and she was feeling very bad because her friend has all the things, all the luxuries of life, but she don't have. And one evening, husband came home with an air of triumph, holding a large envelope in his hand. एक दिन उसका हस्बैंड घर आता है एंड ऑफ कोर्स ही हैज एन एयर ऑफ ट्रायम्फ मीन्स विक्ट्री. ऐसा लगता है उसे कि वो जीत गया है और वो अपने हाथ में एक बड़ा सा एनवलप लेके आता है एंड ही सेड लुक हियर इज समथिंग फॉर यू. शी टोर ओपन द पेपर एंड ड्रू आउट ए कार्ड on which was printed the words. It means she tore that particular envelope in which one of the paper was there. It looks like an invitation. And what was that? Let's see. The Minister of Education and MME dot Jos Ramponieu request the pleasure of and MME Loisel Company at the ministry on the evening of Monday, January 18th. So that was the message from his boss, that is and MME. So this stands for Mr. You can say miss you. MO Yun SIEUR. This word has the pronunciation that is miss you. Remember the pronunciation miss you. And of course, the second MME stands for madam. So these are the English words. The story is belongs to French or French literature, and due to that, their pronunciations were different. I hope you have understood it. Let's see. Then this was the invitation from the Loisels, and of course, husband was delighted with this invitation. Instead of being delighted as her husband had hoped, she threw the invitation on the table resentfully and muttered, "What do you want me to do with that? And what do you expect me to wear if I go?" So that was the two questions asked by the Mathilde to the husband. And of course, this was the great questions in front of her because this was the invitation for the party. And of course, she don't have the dresses which looks rich. And of course, she was resentfully means showing feeling of anger. She was feeling angry, and due to that she's asking the question to the husband that what do you want me to do with that, and what do you expect me to wear if I go. यानी मेरे पास कौन से ऐसे कपड़े जिसे पहन के मैं वहां पे जा सकूं, राइट. एंड शी डोंट want to go there. But let's see what happened next. Then he hadn't thought of that. He stammered. He was stammered. वो लड़खड़ाते हुए बोला, "Why the dress you go to the theater in? It seems very nice to me." It means now he's trying to adjust the situation. But of course, her wife was totally angry with him, and due to that, he stopped, stunned, distressed to see his wife crying. जैसे ही उसने वैसा कहा कि जो ड्रेस तुम थिएटर में पहनती हो या थिएटर जाते हुए पहनती हो वो मुझे बहुत खूबसूरत लगता है, ये बात सुन के उसकी वाइफ रोने लगी. Mathilde was crying and he stuttered, "What's the matter? Let's see, Mathilde, how much would a suitable dress cost?" So now he's thinking to purchase a new dress for Mathilde. यानी वो सोच रहा है कि उसके लिए कोई नया ड्रेस वो खरीद सके. She thought for a moment, computing the cost. So here, stun means stupefy or knock unconscious, right? And she was computing now. Computing means calculating. She was calculating the cost of the dress and also wondering what amount she could ask for without an immediate refusal. तो वो सोच रही है कि वो अपने हस्बैंड को कितने रुपए बोले, और उतने ही रुपए वो बोलना चाहती है जो उसे, या जो सुन के उसके हस्बैंड रिफ्यूज ना कर सके. एट लास्ट शी आंसर्ड हेजिटेंटली, आई डोंट नो एग्जैक्टली, बट आई थिंक आई कुड डू इट विथ 400 francs. So francs, हाउ मेनी फ्रैंक्स वर देयर? 400 फ्रैंक्स. तो वो कहते हैं कि मुझे 400 फ्रैंक चाहिए जिसमें से मैं अच्छी ड्रेस खरीद सकूं. ही टर्न्ड अ लिटिल पेल. इट मीन्स ही वाज सो नर्वस because he had been saving that exact amount to buy a gun for a hunting summer. It means he would like to buy a gun. वो खुद के लिए एक बंदूक खरीदना चाहता है, और जिस बंदूक का वो इस्तेमाल हंटिंग के लिए कर सके, जो कि वो समर सीजन में हंटिंग के लिए जाता है. इन द कंट्री नियर नैंटर विथ ए फ्यू फ्रेंड्स, यानी अपने दोस्तों के साथ वो हंटिंग के लिए जाता है, और वहाँ पे वो सोच रहा है कि एक गन खरीद ले ताकि वो हंटिंग अच्छी तरह से कर सके. बट ऑफ कोर्स नाउ दिस इज अ बिग क्वेश्चन इन फ्रंट ऑफ हिम टू परचेस द ड्रेस फॉर his wife. However, he said, very well, I can give you 400 francs, but try and get a really beautiful dress. The day of the party drew near, and Madame Loisel seemed sad, restless, anxious. Though her dress was ready, one evening her husband said to her, what's the matter? You have been acting strange these last 3 days. But of course, Loisel is the surname of Mathilde. And of course, now, though her husband gave her 400 francs, but still she was not happy. She seemed sad, restless, anxious. Anxious means worried, nervous. जैसे जैसे पार्टी का दिन नज़दीक आते गया, वैसे वैसे उसकी जो nervousness है वो बढ़ने लगी. And of course, due to that, her husband asked her the question that what's the matter? You have been acting strange these last 3 days. यानी मैं पिछले 3 दिनों से देख रहा हूँ कि तुम strange behavior कर रही हो. So what's the matter? What was the reason? And which answer given by the Mathilde? Let's see. Mathilde said, she replied, I'm upset that I have no jewels, not a single stone to wear. I would rather not go to the party. वो कहती है कि मेरे पास एक भी ज्वेल नहीं है, एक भी स्टोन नहीं है. स्टोन मीन्स हियर ज्वेल, यानी एक भी पहनने लायक कुछ भी मेरे पास नहीं है. आई वुड रादर नॉट गो टू द पार्टी. इससे बेहतर है कि मैं उस पार्टी में जाने की मेरी जो इच्छा है वो छोड़ दूँ. You could wear flowers, he said. So, of course, he would like to adjust the situation once again. But that time also, he said they are very fashionable at this time of year. उसने कहा कि तुम अपने बालों में फूल पहन लो. But of course, in that time of the year, this is fashionable. But she was not convinced. लेकिन उसने एक नहीं सुनी. She was not convinced at all. The next day, she went to her friend's house and told her of her distress. ये उसकी वही सहेली है जिसको वो अवॉइड कर रही है. And now the next day she went to the house of her friend, and now she told all the situation in distress. Distress means sorrow or pain. And of course अपनी जो कंडीशन है उसने अपनी फ्रेंड को बताई. Madame Forestier went to her mirrored wardrobe, took out a large box, brought it back, opened it, and said it, Madame Loisel, choose, my dear. First, Mathilde saw some bracelets, then a pearl necklace. She tried on the jewelry in the mirror. She kept asking, you have nothing else? It means उसने अपने मिरर बॉक्स या मिरर के सामने जो बड़ा सा जो एक फर्नीचर है, तो उसमें से एक बॉक्स निकाल के उसको दिखाया, एंड उसने कहा कि इसे ट्राई करो. But again and again she asking Matilda asking the same question that you have nothing else. इसके अलावा तुम्हारे पास और कुछ नहीं है? So of course her friend said why? Yes, but I don't know what you like. उसने कहा कि मेरे पास तो बहुत सारे गहने हैं, लेकिन तुम्हें कौन सा पसंद आएगा? I don't know. Suddenly she discovered in a black satin box a superb diamond necklace, and her heart began to beat with uncontrollable desire. सडनली उसने एक सटिन बॉक्स में एक डायमंड नेकलेस देखा और उसका जो हार्ट है वो जोर जोर से धड़कने लगा। एंड हर हैंड्स ट्रेम्बल्ड एज शी टुक इट। तो उसके हाथ कांपने लगे जैसे उसने वो गहना अपने हाथ में लिया, वो नेकलेस हाथ में लिया, उसके हाथ कांपने लगे। एंड शी fastened it around her neck and stood lost in ecstasy as she looked at herself. यानी वो जैसे ही उसने वो जो नेकलेस है अपने गले में पहना और वो खुद को आईने में देखने लगी, she was totally in ecstasy. Ecstasy means she is now living in imaginary world. And of course then she asked anxiously, hesitating, would you lend me this, just this? यानी उसने जैसे खुद को देखना बंद किया, उसने अपने फ्रेंड से कहा कि तुम एक दिन के लिए मुझे ये नेकलेस दे सकती हो, मुझे सिर्फ यही चाहिए। उसकी फ्रेंड ना नहीं कह पाई। उसने कहा, वाई यस ऑफ कोर्स। शी थ्रू हर आर्म्स अराउंड हर फ्रेंड्स नेक rapturously, then fled with her treasure rapturously in a way that expresses extreme pleasure. वो बहुत खुश हुई और उसने अपने फ्रेंड के गले में हाथ डाला। Now she is extremely happy that her friend is ready to give her necklace. She was prettier than all the other women, elegant, gracious, smiling and full of joy. उसे लगा कि ये पहन के तो वो सबसे अच्छी दिखेगी, सबसे बेहतरीन दिखेगी। And she will looking elegant, gracious, smiling and full of joy. उसे बहुत खुशी हुई। And of course, let's see what happened next. That she danced wildly with passion, forgetting everything in the triumph of her beauty and success, floating in a cloud of happiness. And now she's वो अब सातवें आसमान पे है। Now she is dancing wildly. इन पार्टी में वो डांस कर रही है wildly with full passion, forgetting everything in the triumph of her beauty. यानी वो अपने आप में ही मगन है, उसे किसी के बारे में कुछ नहीं सूझ रहा है। And she was now totally in heaven, and now she's experiencing the happiness. Mathilde and her husband left at about 4 o'clock in the morning. तो सुबह के 4 बजे Mathilde and her husband they left the party, and when they were finally in the street they could not find a cab. जैसे वो पार्टी से बाहर आए, they're going to find the cab, लेकिन उन्हें कैब नहीं मिली। They walked down toward the Seine till they found one. वो थोड़ी दूर जाके उन्हें एक कैब मिली। They were dropped off at the door in the Rue des Martyrs, and sadly it was all over for her. जैसे वो घर पहुंचे, Rue des Martyrs, this is the place where they were lived. And जैसे वो अपने घर पहुंचे, in front of the mirror, she took a final look at herself in all her glory. It means now everything is over. Now she is not that particular lady who danced wildly, passionately in the party. And of course, now everything is over. जैसे अपने आप को उसने मिरर में लास्ट देखा, फाइनली देखा at exactly 4, but suddenly she uttered a cry. वैसे ही उसने वो चिल्लाई। she no longer had the necklace round her neck. उसने देखा कि उसके गले में नेकलेस नहीं है जो कि उसके फ्रेंड का है। What's the matter? Asked the husband. She turned toward him, panic striken. I have no longer have Madame Faustier's necklace. उसने कहा कि मेरे फ्रेंड का, मैडम फॉस्टे का नेकलेस जो उसने मुझे लेन किया था वो अभी मेरे गले में नहीं है। That was totally astonished kind of the thing was happened. She lost that necklace in the party. Let's see what happened. He stood up distraught. Distraught means worried, disturbed. She was totally disturbed now. What? How? That's impossible. That was the exclamation of her husband. उसने कहा कि ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता। But of course, this is the thing that was happened, that she lost that necklace in the party. And now, what exactly happened? This is a very interesting story. And what kind of the great message we have at the end of the story, we will see in the next video. Stay tuned. Thank you, everyone. Stay home, stay happy, stay safe.